purpose does the gentleman from Colorado rise?
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report.
Amendment offered by Mr. Tipton of Colorado. Page 15, line 20, after the dollar amount, insert increase by $3 million. Page 15, line 24, after the dollar amount, insert increase by $3 million. Page 16, line 10, after the dollar amount, insert increase by $3 million. Page 19, line 15, after the dollar amount, insert reduced by $4 million.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes to describe his amendment.
Mr. Chairman, I rise today with an amendment that cuts $4 million from the Transportation Security Administration and provides these resources for small and rural airports. Airports that have had important passenger screening devices removed as a result of the Federal Aviation Administration's Modernization Act. Passengers into rural airports in my district, including Yampa Valley, Montrose, Gunnison, Durango, they've all been impacted by unnecessary delays and intrusions because of the removal of security screening devices that were sent to larger airports. In the interest of protecting passenger privacy, the FAA Modernization Reform Act of 2012 required the use of automated target recognition scanners, or Gumby scanners, at all airports by June 1st of 2012. While the intent of Congress was admirable and protecting the privacy of passengers should be a priority, TSA's interpretation and implementation of the laws caused numerous problems for passengers traveling from small and rural airports throughout the country. One of TSA's manufacturers who provided equipment for passenger screening could not comply with the changes in the law and provide new equipment. As a result, TSA decided to remove 174 of these non-compliant machines throughout the country. Rather than waiting for funding for new machines or finding alternative ways to be able to fix this problem, TSA made the arbitrary decision of taking compliant scanners from small and rural airports throughout the country and giving them to larger airports that lost their non-compliant scanners. One alternative could have been the cost-effective private federal alternative screening model that was put forth by then House Transportation Chairman John Mica that would have saved billions of dollars and not compromised the security at small and rural airports. TSA's implication that security checkpoints at small and rural airports are somehow less critical is inaccurate. Once passengers clear screening at small and rural airports, they typically do not receive additional screening for connecting flights at other larger potential airports. The amendment will assist with reducing unnecessary delay for passengers at small and rural airports by providing funding to be able to speed up the replacement of security equipment removed by the TSA. It is important to note that the funds being redirected from TSA toward improving passenger screening at small airports come from its administrative budget and as such do not impact passenger security. There are numerous concerns with transparency and waste in the TSA budget, including a recent agreement by the TSA to purchase $50 million worth of new uniforms that are unnecessary, wasting approximately $212 million each year on the inefficient SPOT program and billions on the Transportation Worker Identification Credential program. I believe that these resources could be better used and used more efficiently to screen passengers at small airports, strengthen security, prevent delays, and avoidable intrusion. I encourage my colleagues to join me in support of this common sense amendment. With that, I yield back.
What purpose does the gentleman from Texas rise?
Mr. Chairman, I move to strike the last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I share some of these concerns with the gentleman from Colorado, and I believe that outstanding questions still remain over the timetable or timeline for replacing the AIT scanners. I expect TSA to sufficiently answer the question posed here today. I urge TSA to move forward with the replacement of AIT scanners at the affected airports as soon as possible. I commit to the gentleman from Colorado that the committee will look into this issue further and do everything within its power to fix the problem to the extent that it does not cost the American taxpayers more money. It's my understanding that this amendment will not result in the need for additional TSA screeners. Therefore, I accept the amendment.
What purpose does the gentleman from North Carolina rise?
Mr. Chairman, I move to strike the last word.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I too would suggest that for now we accept this amendment and continue to work on the problems that the amendment highlights. My understanding from TSA is that they have prior year funding available to replace detection machines that were removed due to the FAA Modernization Act. The machines that were removed didn't meet certain privacy standards and were removed at the cost of the contractor. TSA is currently testing new machines that could be used to replace the roughly 250 that were removed from airports across the country. And clearly, of course, this needs to be done. So I'll be happy to work with the gentleman to press TSA to move at an expeditious pace to replace these with more advanced machines. And I yield back.
The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from Colorado. Those in favor say aye. And those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.